Hello, everyone. This is Super Happy Dragon Lucky episode 0x22 22. If you can ask questions, I'm going to try to do a short AMA at the end of this. Otherwise, pretty short bit of things to talk about. The first, we just released info that we were granted a broadening of the Interchain patent, which we had for a while wanted to get because our original patent had to do with one chain talking to another and then talking to a third chain, and it was sufficiently narrow, but we just were awarded the protection of one chain talking to any other chain. And of course, something to talk about, and that was at least at a high level documented in that release, was our angle on interchain and interop that is sufficiently unique, I guess, in the world of blockchain, that we see it in four levels that as everyone else does. Obviously, there is token interchain, and the fact that you can, how do I say this? The fact that you can that you can do token transfers, which, although extremely interesting and very powerful and really good technology, I don't see as too much of a real demand out there. That it's very much blockchain and cryptocurrency focused capability that the business world doesn't understand blockchain and cryptocurrency enough to actually use it yet, and to ask them to understand atomic swap and exchanging tokens amongst various blockchains. It's even more esoteric. So we use it for our console and in DragonNet itself, that you transfer dragons, which are protected on the Ethereum network, into a cold wallet for the Dragonchain console to fund your account, whether you're paying for business node and transactions or whether you are receiving them. But that we have a swap between Ethereum and DragonNet, and that's very interesting, obviously, for security reasons and for scalability reasons. We did that. But added to that, we even from a really early phase saw Interchain as something, even at Disney, where we can have a hybrid network, a private network that is, or a private chain or chains that are leveraging other blockchains, particularly high security public blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, for their security. And so the fact that we can leverage all of the hash power of Bitcoin and Ethereum Classic and Binance Chain is particularly useful, because if any one of them has short-lived 51% attack or any other issues, your transactions on Dragonchain are still secured, and they're still backed by all of those chains. And and ideally we would be supporting a lot more than just the four. So we're working on partnerships. There are a few that have been announced already that hopefully will be in place soon. And we also see the utility as a big piece. That is, for the flexibility of a business, if you're writing to Dragonchain, the fact that you can actually leverage Ethereum when it really matters, and when you want to, or if there is some new capability with a new chain that comes out, you have the ability to interchain with that other chain and actually leverage its inherent specialized utility. Say if it's a storage chain like Storage or Coin, or if it's any other utility you might find. You know, in Ethereum's case, it's more general and a really powerful decentralized smart contract platform. And then the fourth level, the fourth dimension of Interchain that we see is a little, it might be a semantic thing, but it is interop with traditional systems. So if you have an accounting system, or you have an ERM system, or anything else in your enterprise, in your business, the fact that you can integrate either direction, you can use that system as an oracle to your chain, you can use your chain to talk to that system through a smart contract. It's an interesting piece, and really important to us. And slowly, the ideas get out, and over time, you know, it'll be meaningful. Right now, you know, we're still really early, but the beauty is we're operational. So as we go out, everything that we do is already plugged into that system. So it's either leveraging the security by itself, the token, and occasionally utility, and very often the interop with traditional from the implementations we've seen. So that's that, and there will be more info on that soon. The next thing I had down to talk about was the Coiin update. So we announced the contract 2 weeks ago. That was a new contract. We did have a contract with them prior to do other things. And this one, though, is really interesting because they have some new things that we'll be rolling out soon that we're building to, which will include loyalty, identity, proof of human, non-bot, and a lot of other really interesting things for people that are doing marketing and social platform community engagement. So there's some really neat stuff going into that. And I do think that next week we will be announcing, I believe we'll be announcing something about on the technical side of what we're building there. It kind of depends on a couple of other things. So there, we'll see what goes out. The next thing to talk about that I had written down was a DEN update. So basic status on it, you know, we're continuing to build it out. We have a few things that, well, quite a few things are in development, but the thing that came out most recently was the fact that you can refresh the screen and your view settings stick. They would go away before, which was particularly frustrating. So now if you like to view replies along with trending, that will stick on your device. So that's one thing. We have a couple of other bug fixes coming in. We expect a new layer integration in the coming few weeks, where there will be some interesting partnerships that are starting up, along with the CreatorWorks, which is in development too. We've delivered a few things there, and here I'll show you something with the new release that came out as well, which does also show you a couple of things that aren't there yet. Let's see here. I will go to my settings and show you in, let's say, one of the layers that I own. I own the DIN layer. So, you know, you can set the avatar, the banner, display name, and everything else. Well, we now have default permissions if you own a layer. So you can turn on or off the ability for general subscribers to post or reply or vote. There's also a YouTube and torrent pieces which are not fully integrated on the UI yet. The torrent side will probably be a premium feature, but it will allow you to do a decentralized streaming video content. And you know, the reason we won't push that for a while, and it might be a premium, is that it requires a certain workflow that you have to get your community to seed the video, and you know, as you can imagine, otherwise there's nothing there to play. But YouTube integration will be basically a very simple embed so that you could either take any public YouTube video and embed it into a post and comment and whatever else you want to do. But you can also, I guess, important pieces, if you have original content that is shared by link only, then you can embed that in here. And, it's not, it's not super advanced in terms of security, but it doesn't really matter. It's basically, if you want to control where your content is displayed and you want to use DEN comments, then this is the way to do it. You can also allow images or not. So coming out of that, I will show you that we have, I guess, coming up the UI to actually embed YouTube videos. We will have also probably coming in the next month or so, I hope, a new system for reputation, which includes time, but for the more generic layers is not only focused on time. We were going to roll out time by itself, but we decided that we have enough generic layers that have nothing to do with Dragonchain, and many that don't have anything to do with crypto even, that as we roll out more and more, they will be, of course, more general purpose. And we want a reputation system so that a layer owner can restrict certain activities from people who are not evaluated as quality members yet. And there will be a really interesting way to do a site-wide reputation versus a layer-specific reputation, so that if someone is well-behaved site-wide, but they turn out to be a troll and or they don't follow your particular community guidelines in your layer, that you would be able to restrict their ability to troll. Let's see here. So I believe that's everything. We do want to get lore and lot out so that we can start having proper layer creation process going. And soon we will announce the full spin-off of DEN. It's not complete, but it's nearly there. So now we'll go to a really quick AMA and see how many we can get in. It is about 20 minutes past. So let's see here. I will say, Superhero Lifestyle TV. Hi team, I have a question regarding Dragon and Quant Network. Do you see yourselves ever working together for interop, or are they direct competitors in this global market? I don't think anyone's a direct competitor. I think that obviously we would love to work with them. I don't know anyone on that team on a project, but we're always open to any, especially Interchain, obviously, so that they could potentially use our platform when and if it makes sense, but primarily so that we can secure our platform to Quant, and security and utility would be beautiful. Let's see here. Next would be, yeah, hit the thumbs up. That's a very good point. Sorry, Philip. No, I was actually getting coffee. Let's see, I have my coffee here. So I was waiting for a political question for that, but let's see here. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, when's the next LCP? Good question, Tenacious Dragon. Next LCP, I would love to have one soon. People in Fellowship asked to hold off until we get lore and lot in. I want to basically get an estimate on when lore and lot are coming up. I know that we're going to have a couple of B2B or strategic ads soon that might not go through the whole process, but there are some people that are clamoring to get a couple of subjects in, and I know that there are some that are missing, where people are trying to find a more general place to post content. Let's see here. Update for why Dragonchain winners about the nodes. Have you already submitted an entry in a form? If you have, then we have someone on it. They're going through and they are processing, verifying what they need to verify. They might reach out to ask questions, so hopefully your contact info is intact. And otherwise, it should be relatively soon that it would be basically a switch flipped on the admin side, so that you can do an unmanaged, turn on your unmanaged L4 running on your own machine. Let's see here, ETA on the Divi interchain. As soon as possible. We have somebody who is assigned, but they've been really busy. So we had a couple of things going on. Of course, DIN, but there's been a bunch going on for that Coiin contract and for the CreatorWorks contract. So hopefully soon. I know Divi is, I believe they already have the node set up, so we just need to write the interchain and turn on a level 5 node for it. So let's see here. Okay, when are we going to be able to put a banner image on a personal page in DIN? That's a good question. We should ask the DIN team that. I know that we have something coming up with one of the customers that needs some profile specifics, some specialized stuff for their integration with DIN. So since that hits profile, we'll probably do it at that time, because I wanted to expand on just the general profile itself. It's extremely simple right now. So we'll get that in there. I seem to have trimmed or shaved my beard. I have not. It's still there. It's just growing. I've not done much at all. Probably it's cut off or something. Who knows? It's curly, so it changes shape. Let's see here. Can I elaborate more on what Trey talks about in the Telegram chats regards to things being worked on, in particular the test by the Big Four audit company? So in those chats, he has been speaking about, he's sales, so he's been speaking about a couple of things that can't be announced yet, but there's at least one relatively big one in the works that he's directly involved with, and he has a lot of other ones that I'm not certain all of the different sizes of the projects, but there are a lot of pieces there. We have a couple of other contracts that we've not announced yet that we're waiting, that we know that they will be announced, but we have to wait on them. So that's about all I can say. The Big Four audit company, they were doing integration engineering study, basically, and if you look up my comment, it's very probably much more concise and much better refined than anything I could say, and that was in Telegram, I believe. It could have been on Twitter. I know somebody copied it onto Twitter, but very, very specific things. They did tell us that we are the only operational interchain that's out there, and that was many months ago. So apologies if anything else has popped up since then, but I do know that it was a good thing to hear, a good thing to know what was going on, and they have customers and things are constantly being worked on. Let's see here. As a fellow crypto trader, this is from Crypto Color 7. Sorry, I've not been saying everybody's name. As a fellow crypto trader, are you bullish on Bitcoin anytime this year or 2021? I would have to think either right before or right after the halvening. You'd have to expect something to happen with Bitcoin in particular. And as goes Bitcoin, goes everything, because everything's traded against Bitcoin either 1 or 2 degrees away. So it's kind of like the Kevin Bacon of the crypto world. And I would expect it to go up, both with all of the craziness going on. And, although it's not pure to one-to-one, you would have to consider some of what your what is anticipated in gold, as an example, to be similar with Bitcoin. With I would expect it would be more volatile, both directions, of course, than gold. But gold is going to probably have a problem with paper, right? The fact that there's not as much gold as people own because they own paper gold, and when it goes away, or when that's known, I think it's going to really freak a lot of people out, and a lot of people will realize, oh, that's why transparency matters. That's why it would be good if I could actually prove that I have one of the 21 million Bitcoin, right? That's an amazing thing. On top of the fact of the mining itself, that no matter what happens in the world, in the economy, that mining, so long as the network persists and that the hash rate doesn't have an issue with volatility, that you don't have the same problems that you historically have had with gold or other precious metals or scarce items that, like say gold with the Spanish galleons coming back from the New World crashed the market. It's happened other times, and you can imagine if it became feasible to mine asteroids, that precious metals you wouldn't know how much was out there at any given point. Whereas with Bitcoin, you always know. So that's a beautiful thing. So yes, I'm bullish this year. I'm hopeful this year too. Let's see here. Chiz asks, what can you share about the partnership with Coiin? Sounds like they're establishing several products, including crypto Visa card loyalty program and a GDPR compliant ID system, Coiin ID. I think you asked this on DIN too, didn't you? I've seen this question. So good question. We've actually been trying to get back in touch with them. We had a partnership that went into place way back, and we didn't get to develop it as much as we had liked, because we didn't need a lot of the KYC that we had thought we would need back then, especially early on. So it languished a little bit, but we're trying to get back in touch with them because we are about to relaunch Dragon Factor with a full mobile app, and with at least a few customers. And there's going to be news about that soon. We're probably going to do some really interesting stuff with Dragon Factor soon. And we're hoping to integrate with as many identity providers as we can, Coiin included. And we've been talking to a few others. And one of our partners is really well placed, and they're basically looking to establish a first identity provider contact that meets their needs, and then we're going to roll with them and build out the API. So there's a bunch of really neat stuff happening there, but we've had trouble getting in touch with Coiin recently. So Damien Capitan, are we testing with node F28E5272? I do not know. Actually, if you're talking about the node that, the traffic, I actually haven't even had time to look if it's one or more nodes that's been doing most of the transactions recently. I actually have no idea. It could be one of our, I wouldn't doubt if it's one of our nodes. I do know that we have some things, but I believe that all of the testing that we've been doing has been in stage, so you wouldn't see it at all. So I don't know. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Okay. Lillian Rickgen. Huge fan and supported since the beginning. Maybe I've missed it, but why did Dean Shelton leave? Let's see here. Also, Lawrence Lerner. So yeah, we're trying to stretch. Everybody knew we cut staff, and we cut the headquarters location. What month was that? It was a couple months ago. Basically, directly to stretch what we have. We have everything built, so we already knew that the core team, was maybe a little bit overbuilt. We had probably too many people on it since the platform was completely built out, and we moved people to Den, and we moved people to the applications team, or what was before it was kind of it was like a special teams thought, where we had people that worked on apps and that could move between projects, but they could build any given web capability or prototype for a customer out in days. And so we moved more people over there, and we cut back on our core team for the platform. And so far it's been good. And Dean is still, we love Dean. Still keep in touch with him. He is on still as an advisor. And about Lawrence, it's the same thing. He's on still as an advisor, and we have a full sales staff coming in as we speak, with new incentive plans, and a bunch more that is a little, I guess, what you would call hyper focused on what we are seeing out there for actual adoption and actual contracts. So that's what we're focusing on, and that's why. Let's see here, Spansol M. It'd be good for customers and holders if Dragon could be bought on a fiat ramp, on-ramp, right, without suffering extra volatility of Bitcoin and Ethereum like Coinbase. What do you think about it? All of that would be amazing and excellent if it weren't so expensive to do in the US or in the Western world generally, that there's too much criminal activity in certain areas that cause then the regulators to really hyper focus, especially on crypto, about the movement of funds. And so we have in place all the required legal stuff on AML and KYC, and for tax reporting, for example. Everybody knows that, but we don't have a fiat on ramp. We do, though, have Takara, and that was actually, and in my opinion, a better way to handle that, where we, instead of having a stable coin, we have a stable price, where it stays stable for the month. You can move dollars in and have dragons on the back end that fund your account, that go through and do what you need to do. On the other hand, you can bring dragons in, and we actually prefer if you bring dragons in, but to pay for anything in the system, but you can still use dollars, and it's the equivalent. So it's basically, for any business, it abstracts away what your concern is, that the volatility of Bitcoin and Ethereum and dragons, that you don't have to care at all. You say, I'm going to pay $10,000 this month, and it's $10,000, and I get what I get, and I get what I know I'm going to get, and that's all that matters. So it's a beautiful thing. Let's see here. Thank you, Jim. JMML. Yeah, we're staying in. I've been to the grocery store once physically in the past couple of weeks. In fact, Trader Joe's was completely stocked, and I'm not going to tell you which Trader Joe's because some of the other grocery stores aren't stocked. And we mostly have been doing grocery shopping online, and I drive in, pick it up. They put it in my trunk, and I drive off. So I don't have to touch anybody. Nobody breathes on me. It's all good. We're just trying to keep safe, but hopefully everything's dying down, especially some of the new drug treatments that's looking better. You never know. They're saying these next 2 weeks are supposed to be the rough 2 weeks. So coming up on Easter, we'll see. All right, Aladita. When deleted controversial tweets layer. Exactly. That would be beautiful. I think we should do that. And in fact, maybe we could do something where it's not, I don't know if would it be something where anyone could post, or should it be a moderated thing where people can reply? It'd probably be better that way, because people tend to post without knowing they're not supposed to post. So, Soon, that would be great, right? We also have a couple of related archival things coming up that are independently being built. So we've been in collaboration with them. I'm trying to help them out, but there's some really cool stuff coming as well that's similar to that. Next, Das Chelvam. I feel virtual world stuff like Decentraland or Cryptovoxels would be awesome if developed on Dragonchain. Yes. Any plans of starting or funding any projects along those lines? We'd love to. I think we might even have a bounty on gaming. We'd love to fund them, and if they're particularly strategic or really cool, we would add more to it. In fact, I love Decentraland. I've only looked at it. I've not played with it much. It's very intriguing, but who knows? Mostly, I would see any place that and the groups that are working on games on Dragonchain that I know of are trying to make fun games first and blockchain games second. That is, which is the way to do it, because if a game's fun, it's going to be fun, and it's a better way to get a normal person involved in crypto when they realize that, oh man, this is actually worth something in the real world, so it's another step beyond. Plus you would bring crypto people in, but the moment that you make a game, a gamer use MetaMask, I think you've killed it. Or you bring up, oh, you have to do this thing. It's really detrimental to the game itself. So we're hoping to build it that way and make it so that the scarcity of virtual items is one of the patterns. There are a couple of other, marketplace to make the game more organically easy to get into. But we're basically only working in an advisor role in any of those right now. But yeah, we'd definitely be willing to throw operational and potentially even dev resources if someone has a good idea and wants to do that. Can we talk about Block and Coin? So we spoke about Coin. We did do, I should have said this earlier, we did actually deliver the first pass after the first sprint, and it was already it is a full cycle system where basically minimum viable product to do all of the pieces, and we're going to be announcing some of what those things are. So that first delivery has already been made with success. It's really good stuff. With Block, so we made the announcement, and we're waiting to hear back from them on a couple of integration points for Block Cloud that they will allow, and we don't know the pricing structure, we don't know anything else yet, but they will allow people to run any of the unmanaged nodes on their system as an alternative, and hopefully they will do a few more things. They are going to run level 4 also in their name, so it'll be good. Let's see here. Is Dragonscale still on track in Europe? Or is COVID put everything on delay? There have been a couple of delays involved. Some of it's been because of me, because I've been a little too busy, but we do have an MOU to review, and we have a couple of things almost completed for the negotiation there. But as far as we know, everything is still moving forward, so it's all good. I don't think there's anything for delays yet with the virus. Let's see here. How early are we regarding adoption for blockchain? We're still really early. And that can be reflected in the price. It would be an interesting guess to say at what levels of Bitcoin price does mass adoption at enterprise occur? That would be a good one, right? Because I'm thinking it might be something where once the price of Bitcoin reaches, let's say 250K, is that enough for normal people to spend a little bit of the extra time to understand it, which will then lead to them understanding the more generic capabilities? Or will the tech press completely screw everyone and make everyone think that that blockchain is only one thing? And that, typically would be, it is either Bitcoin, a fintech, it is only a financial asset, or it is only Ethereum, it is only a decentralized smart contract platform. Is there any room for, or what will it take to break through that noise? Anyway, let's see here. Has the Forbes ad gone live? Can you please share it for those of us who are unable to buy the magazine due to quarantine? I don't know the date, but I know that it will be, there will be an online version. So I think the online will come out before the print. So you'll be able to get the online version. And I'm sure someone in the community will probably see it and grab it before I do. So we'll share it somewhere along the way, and there will be some interesting things to note in that ad and the related marketing. So do pay attention to that. And then I'm hoping next week. So that's all the questions done. I'm hoping next week we can have some more info on the Provably Fair contest that we've run through one proof of concept with it, and we're hoping to get the product out soon so that we can start using it on the show here. So if anybody has any ideas for funny things we can give away other than toilet paper, maybe that's the first one. We're all ears, and that'll be soon. So that's it for today for episode 22. If you have questions, keep them or put them in DIN, and we will try to have an AMA every time, at least when we're able. So thanks a bunch, and goodbye.